What's up, peeps? Today we got a little special solo build for you. This is probably the best build that I have for running solo greater rifts and doing T13 anything. T13 you can just blow through it. Greater rifts I'm up to 75, which is pretty good for solo. I think the best thing about this build though is you don't have to have a lot of Paragons. I mean, 700 is pretty low compared to, some of the other builds you need to be actually beasting these high-level greater rifts. This one will get you through it just as good. Like I said, it's mostly for solo runs, because I personally run solo a lot more than running in groups. So if you're like me, and you do like to run solo, and you're having a hard time with some of the greater rifts, use this build. This build will focus around the Inaris set, and it does the Bone Tornado. So let's get into our equipment here. I'm using the Relina Shadow Hook, and that's mostly because you'll do a ton more damage with your Bone Tornado having a high level two-handed than you would, say, a one-handed and an offhand. You also do more damage considering this the Shadow Hook gives you more damage for every essence of that you have for your maximum, and this Shadow Hook will give you some extra as one of the bonuses to it. I get 39 with this one. I think 40 is the max. I could be wrong though, but as long as you have a high level or a high damaged one-handed, or your weapon, one-handed weapon, two-handed weapon, one-handed weapon, whatever, as long as it's high damage, you'll be doing a lot of damage with your tornado. If you look at the bonuses for the Inaris set, you increase the damage of bone armor by 1,000%. Okay, it also grants you immunity to damage by 2% for each enemy hit, and the tornado right here damages nearby enemies for 750% your weapon damage. So if you have a high damage weapon, you'll get 750% of that high damage. It also increases the damage they take from your Necromancer by 2,750%. So along with the tornado, we're going to be using our Sith, our Grim Sith, and the thing will hit like a truck. Now, if you're going to run solo, the most important thing to do is to have a lot of durability. You got to be able to take a lot of punishment, but yet you still have to deal out all that damage. So along with having a high damaged output weapon and the Bone Tornado, I use the Traveler's Pledge to give me more defense. Inside the Traveler's Pledge, I'm using the rune Simplicity Strength to give my primary skill, which is your Grim Sith, the 60% damage buff to it, and you get 4% your maximum health back for every hit. So you're getting life back, which is going to make you survive longer, plus you're doing a lot more damage, plus the bonus of the Traveler's Pledge is while you're moving, damage taken is reduced by 50, and while standing still, damage increased by 100. I mean, right there, you're getting more damage taken, reduced when you're getting hit, and you're doing more damage along with it. My bracers, I'm using the ancient Parthenon Defenders, and that is, once again, to be able to survive those hits. It's just for that, that defensive buff. Well, let me get back in here. My ring, the Convention of Elements, because Necromancer only goes through 3 different elements. You got the poison, you got the physical, and one other one, which I couldn't tell you offhand. But a third of the time, you're getting your physical damage buffed. And inside this ring, I'm using the Pain Enhancer, which critical hits cause your enemy to bleed for 6,000% the weapon damage. And we have a high damage weapon. So crazy damage here. The Compass Rose, the second piece for the set, for that damage reduction and damage buff. And inside that, we're using our Bane of the Trapped, which I think is pretty much a must for a Necromancer, just to get another damage buff for people that are impaired by your control effects. Then my waist, I'm using Dante's Binding. For anybody that's hit by your Decrepify, you're getting more damage reduction. So this is just constant damage reduction, constant damage output. Now let's go into our skills and we'll check those out. First one is your primary, which is your Grim Sith, and this is getting boosted by all the stuff that you're wearing too, and I use the Curse Sith along with it. Then I use the Blood Rush with the double charge, because if you get into a sticky spot and you need to get out, boom, boom, you're gone. Corpse Lance is a huge boost when you use your Land of the Dead. This thing will just destroy anybody that's like the Juggernauts or the Rift Guardians or anything like that, man. Just absolutely wrecks them. I'm using the Land of the Dead, obviously, and this is great for the Frozen Lands. This is great for the stun effect. So you get that boost with your Crispin Sentence, which is going to be in our cube. Decrepify, obviously, so we can get that defense buff. And we're using Dizzy and Curse on that for a chance to be stunned. We're using the Bone Armor because with this location for the stun, and this is like these two right here. The Bone Armor and the Grim Sith are your two power hits. These are what you're going to be using the majority of the time. And then you're also going to use this whenever you want, because these things still hit like a truck too. This is a huge damage and a huge defense loadout. So inside our passives, we're using Overwhelming Essence because we get that 0.5 boost to our damage. From our Relina Shadowhook, for every essence of our max essence we have. So right there is a 20% damage boost just from that one. We're using the Spreading Malediction because we get a damage boost for everybody that's cursed, and we're going to be throwing out our Decrepify constantly. Then we have Eternal Torment because you get a damage reduction for everybody that's cursed, and it lasts forever. So as long as you're cursing things, you're getting a damage reduction, and they never lose that curse until you kill them, obviously. Then the Standalone for more armor because we're not using any pets. Inside our cube, we're running Tragul's Corroded Fang just for even more damage. Plus, you get a 200% increase to cursed enemies, which is going to be your Decrepify also. So you're getting another damage boost there. Aqueous Currents, as long as you're above 90%, you get 50% reduced damage, so more damage reduction. And rarely do you go under the 90% of your primary resource. And then the Crispin Sentence, obviously, this is a staple in pretty much any Necromancer build. So, if you look at the Paragons, once again, there's only 709. Like I said, it's pretty low compared to some of the other people that are putting up some awesome loadouts. So this is really like early game build to be able to get you into the higher tier Raider Rifts. If you look at our damage output, we're at 1.5 per second, which is crazy. And we're going to get into some rifts, and I'm not going to commentate through them. I'm just going to throw some on there. So if you guys don't want to watch them, there's your loadout. And if this has helped you out at all, man, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. All right, peeps, have a good one. Later.
Many Nephilim have stood where you are now.
This creature will die. That is not possible. I must have a corpse. I grow weak. corpse for that. Corpse for that. The grave beckons. Do not fear the end. That is not possible. You will make a fine corpse. The night embraces you. That is not possible. I require a corpse for that. An interesting opponent. Give it more time. This world can abide you no longer. decay and rot. Give it more time.
The Rift Guardian is here.
You have triumphed. My name is Urshi, and like Auric, I want the chance. If you have a gem of sufficient, I may be able to help you.
Returning to town. No, not here.
I grant you the power of your ancestors.
Rathma has blessed me.
I wish you luck, hero.
This will be a challenge. Give it more time.
The night embraces you. This world can abide you no longer. Decay and rot. Weakness consumes you.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
I'm afraid not.
You have triumphed. My name is Ash. When the champion, if you have a gem of that.